guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Dimmitt Chevrolet in super sunny Clearwater. And guess what? I have found probably one of the rarest, most bizarre vehicles ever built in automotive history. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2004 Chevrolet SSR. But before we get into this bright, twinkie yellow muscle car of a convertible truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So to actually talk about this Chevy, we need to talk about Chrysler and Plymouth and Dodge. The reason why is in the 1990s, they did something revolutionary. They came out with the Plymouth Prowler. That vehicle really harked back to the 1930s and 40s, especially making it look like a hot rod. They also came out with the PT Cruiser. And say what you may about the PT Cruiser, they sold a boatload of them. And even though the Prowler never lived up to the magic that it could have been, I think the thing holding it back was that it only was available with a V6 and never available with a V8. It really kind of laid the groundwork for this SSR, because eventually Chevy would say, we want to have some of that classic retro style as well. So they took a page from the PT Cruiser, they developed the HHR, that's smaller, it looked like a panel van from the 1930s. Then they came out with this vehicle in 2003. And this essentially looks like a 1940s Chevrolet truck, but in a very futuristic kind of way. SSR was made from 2003 to 2006, and that's it. The rest, as we say, is history. So what I want to find out is this one of the most iconic muscle car trucks ever made? And is it a muscle car truck you should be buying? Or maybe even buy it over a 2004 Corvette? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into our twinkie yellow Chevrolet SSR and find out. Right off the bat, the shape, the style, it's definitely gonna capture your attention and people's imagination, because like I said, this was just a very unique time in automotive history where retro design was getting a little bit more widespread and rampant. Now at the front end of the business, you're gonna notice that flared out fender, very similar to a 1940s Chevy pickup truck, all painted bright metallic twinkie yellow. Working our way down, you'll see this very interesting round headlight housing design. You have projector beam headlights in there, and then the bright silver to mimic that silver that you would see in a traditional halogen headlight. Now, one of the things that is unique with the SSR, besides the whole truck itself, is how they took this aluminum style looking brow. It's not actually a metal, it's plastic, but it's got an aluminum finish to it, and they ran it across the whole brow, and I'll show you why they did that. And then on the lower portion, they actually rounded it nicely underneath and gave it some LED fog lamps with a little bit of silver around the fog lamp. Now, as we come across that low, wide nose, you could see how that silver brow I was telling you about goes from one side to the other. It's got the Chevrolet bow tie smack dab up top, and then I like the way it has the name Chevrolet stamped in the top silver portion with the ornamental design. This part right here, if you look at a 1940s Chevrolet pickup truck, you see that design, that shape within the truck, but you're also seeing it in this SSR. Working your way down, you'll see how the whole grille has a V formation set up, and it follows the same design as the trim, but now it's body color. Full functionality with the honeycomb grille design. And I tell you, I like a big bowl of honeycombs, but I think the honeycomb grille is working with this bee yellow. It's like honey bee yellow of a paint job. But definitely let me know what you think about the front. It's a standout. It's unique and quite interesting. Now, as we rise up, you'll see that hood has a nice kind of bow to it with that rise that evaporates as you get towards the windshield. And then you can really see when you're looking at the fender compared to the hood, just how much lower the hood is. how it drapes down onto that front fender. And then you have color matched around the windshield frame. Got the top down. I will show you the truck as well with the top up, and it is a power folding hardtop back in 2004. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna notice that we have these 19-inch wheels, metallic silver, just like the trim up front. I like the way they have the covers up the lug nuts. The previous owner went ahead and got a little bit of Twinkie yellow spray paint and painted the calipers yellow. Let me know if you like that look, yellow on the yellow, but quite impressive that back in 2005, 19-inch wheel, 255 on the width, 45 series sidewall. The chassis is actually a 2004 Chevy Trailblazer. So don't think about the Trailblazer today. That's a small subcompact. Back in 2004, the Trailblazer was much larger. This has the box frame from the Trailblazer, and it's actually been beefed up with bracing so that you don't get any flex when you're going on throttle with the hardtop down. Because guess what? Underneath the hood, we got V8 power. Now, as we go down the side, I think the previous owner really loved Mickey D's because with the red pinstripe, it's giving me a Mickey D's vibe. He added this classic V8 badge with the cross flags, very similar to what you would find in the 1940s. And then from the side of the vehicle, it basically is a mid-sized truck because back in 2004, the Trailblazer was a mid-sized SUV. This is essentially a mid-sized truck. Now, he added these running boards. I am gonna zonk them. There's no need to have running boards on this truck. You do get color matched on the mirror caps, very unique shape to the mirror. And then a little bit of silver where you have the door handle to open up the door. And you can see everything has been designed to look like a 1940s truck. Now, as we kind of swing it around, I like the way it's got the silver hoops for protection around the seats. And then you got a tonneau cover that just hides the top when it's down. Plus, you have a tonneau cover for the bed. So you actually have weatherproof storage in the bed of this truck. Now, when we look and we kind of swing back around, you can see that flared out fender for the rear. And then when we drop down, you actually have 20-inch wheels out back. So 19-inch wheels up front, 20-inch wheels out back. The width is 295. That's a lot of rubber for the road. This is a rear-wheel drive, V8 powered muscle truck. But definitely let me know if you're liking the style of the wheel. Like I said, in 2005, 2004, this is what you were looking at when they were looking at modern retro. Now getting towards the rear, we swing it around the back. You see more of that flared out design. And then they took a page from the Corvette and went with a round style taillight. You come across the back, you got that tonneau cover with the rise in the center here. And this is a power release, which I'll show you that in a few moments once we get done with the under the hood and everything. V8 badge was added by the previous owner, but this is the SSR badge from the factory. And remember, SS Super Sport. Working our way down to ground level, you do have a dual outlet exhaust, one exhaust outlet on each side. Let that V8 rumble and a color matched lower rear bumper. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and check out the heart of the SSR. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. There is a prop rod, which I am gonna zonk that. Definitely needs to have a hood strut or two. Underneath the hood, you'll see that killer engine cover with the aluminum finish and the SSR badge, but it's what's underneath the cover that really is fun. It's that Vortec 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8 pumping out 300 horsepower, 331 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to a Hydra-Matic 4L60 4-speed with overdrive, 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds. It weighs 4,670 pounds. You can actually tow with this truck, 2,500 pounds. MPGs, 15 in the city, 19 on the highway. And basically the design that they focused on was specifically from 1947 to 1955. 12-inch rotors, brake rotors, all four corners. Very interesting because think about it. They had to make a unique airbox just for this truck. So there's a lot of bespoke parts on this truck that was not available in any other Chevrolet during that time and after. Now, the killer news is if you find yourself a 2005 or 2006 SSR, that comes with a bigger V8 with more horsepower. But why don't we go ahead, we got the V8, let's fire it up and hear its rumble. Hi guys, we are inside this Twinkie yellow 2004 Chevrolet SSR. I know you're saying to yourself, well Joe, I really want something that's fun to drive on the weekends. I want to take my kid to car shows with me. I really want to share that car passion. I was thinking of a late C5 Corvette, but I kind of forgot about the SSR. And I feel like I'll get more looks in the SSR than if I was almost in any Corvette, any generation Corvette. So how much is this? So back in 2004, it had an MSRP of $42,000. Basically what you could do is just flip the numbers, because now the asking price for this one is $24,000. Is it serendipity? Should you get this one? Let's get to the door panel and find out. To the door panels, you'll notice the style and materials of 2004. I do like the color match, banana yellow up top. You got that old school door lock. Even though we have power door locks, it's got that old school feel to it. And then you have the silver from the exterior brought into the interior. They even did the round trim like the headlights. See how they thought the design through? Small door pocket. Large enough for 1 foot-long Twinkie, and then we do have the Bose sound system. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, the previous owner installed one of these carpet covers to protect the dash, and I'm telling you right now, it looks brand freaking new, so it's nice that they did that. No scratches, nothing. It looks like a new SSR, even though it's not a brand new one. But this is what we were working with in 2004. Same silver trim. You have these hidden cup holders, just like a Porsche 911. And then you slide on in. The previous owner actually did you a favor, updated the infotainment system. Now, this didn't have an infotainment system. It had what we like to call a radio. But because back in the day there were just radios, you didn't have touchscreens. So he actually put in this JVC small touchscreen, full color graphics, and you can see how you could go through the different settings. Plus, watch this. We do have a backup camera installed. That was not even a thing in 2004. So nice to have the clear resolution just to help you when you're at the car show, so you look like a pro, and you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We have our AC controls, traditional knobs, and it all blends in. There's been a USB-A that's been added. And then you'll notice that we have our shifter here for our automatic transmission. It's a 4-speed with overdrive. You do have other cup holders that have been built in as well. So when you're going to get your Super Slurpee, you got something a little bigger than what they have in the dash. All of our switch gear for the traction control, door locks, put down the top, is within the silver trim with the body color. This even opens up. So we hit the button right here, flip it up. What do we have? We have some secret Ziploc bags. You got the owner's manual. Look at that. This is all original. I bet you I could probably sell this for $1,000 on eBay, because it's hard to find this stuff. I mean, it has all the books in it. That to me is awesome. And receipts of service. When you're buying a vehicle like a 2004 SSR, you want to have all those things from the previous owner, and they're here. It's actually pretty soft. And then the seats, nicely padded, all the way down. You have electric portions, but then the back is manual. So that, to me, that's a zonk. But you have plenty of headroom in here with this almost like a leather style headliner, and of course you have that power folding top. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this SSR. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have all your seat controls, even heated seats, which are nice, a low and a high. But the problem is when the door is closed, it's very difficult to get to the buttons. You could basically just feel them with the tips of your fingers. So you might want to learn how to read Braille to be able to operate the seat controls when the door is closed and you're driving down the road. And then you have that stupid manual back. I wish that was power, but I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom in here. You'll notice the steering wheel, the leather, the silver, simple on the horn button, simple on the thumb controls. It's just a tilting steering wheel. It does not extend forward or inward at all. And then the dash, very simple and straightforward. You got a classic style speedometer, tachometer to the left, and then on the right side it says SSR, fuel gauge, temp gauge, and oil pressure, which is nice. There's a lot of new cars that don't have oil pressure gauges, but why don't we go ahead, let's get into that bed area so I can show you the cargo, and then I'm ready to go on throttle in this SSR. All right guys, now it's that moment to show you how to get into the bed of this truck. It's fascinating because if you look at a 2004 Chevrolet Corvette, even though it's a 2-seat sports car, it's got a usable amount of room in the cargo area. But wait until I show you this one, and you use a little magic to open up the back. Open! Look at that. On cue, you're just going to use the key fob, pops up. Now you can get access by just reaching over, and you'll notice on the interior of this, it's all carpet lined. You have a special hidden pocket for some Twinkies. Just make sure that when you open this, you have your hands ready. Your Twinkies are just gonna drop and you might bust cream in the back of this, this truck. Now to get into the actual tailgate, you gotta reach from inside. Not soft release, but you'll notice we have carpet. You got the same design of the handles on the outside. On the inside, the SSR name stamped in to the rear plastic here. And then you'll notice the dark cherry wood finish, full carpeted, like I said, tie down locations, cargo nets for your big melons and everything else. But you know what? It is that magical time to go for an on-throttle drive in this SSR. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go fire this up and hit the road. All right guys, we're leaving Dimmitt Chevrolet. We got the top up, the hard top up in this Chevy SSR. And right away, just a very, very unique driving experience. And I really think it's gonna be one of those vehicles that will continue to get attention. Like I said, if you're looking for something to do on the weekends when you go to Cars and Coffee and you wanna have a vehicle that's gonna get attention, this one will definitely do it. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Yeah, V8 baby. So, believe it or not, this thing actually drives really well. Steering is nice and tight. The 4-speed overdrive, that 4L60 is a great transmission. They've been using that transmission in many previous Chevrolets over the decades. So definitely not a stranger to being driven, that's for sure. Visibility is actually pretty darn good considering it is a smaller windshield, but the way that the hood, you know, kind of flows downward gives you a good visibility in front of you. Side mirrors are great, and of course out the rear view, because there's no rear seats, it's right there, so it's easy to see out the back. The touches that the previous owner did with the infotainment system just kind of adds a little bit better tech feel, so it's a little bit more livable today. But this essentially could be something that if you wanted to drive it every day, you could. I mean, that's not a problem. But why don't we go on throttle again? I'm gonna slow down a little bit here. Nobody's really behind us. We'll see how this thing goes. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. On throttle, here we go, look at that. Traction getting to the ground, rear wheel drive. Nice. Love the sound of that V8. That to me is worth the price of admission. Now, of course, this is not going to be nearly as fast as a C5 Corvette or a C4 Corvette. But with that being said, it's just a more unique experience. And the fact that you have all that usable cargo space in the bed of the truck is really, really wonderful. Steering wheel, I'm telling you, there's no different modes in here and stuff. All you can do is shut the traction control off. Steering feels great and just rides really nice down the road, especially for a vehicle that's 20 years old. Information on the gauges is very easy to see at a quick glance. I'm glad that it has a tachometer. I'm glad that it has oil pressure, a lot of important gauges in this vehicle to make sure that everything is in check. You always want to make sure you have good oil pressure, the coolant temp is where you want it to be. And then you even have, like I said, the previous owner added a backup camera. AC controls, this is as straightforward as it's gonna get. No dual climate, no heated and ventilated, well, heated seats, just no ventilated seats, but lots of space in here. Really makes it a unique experience, and I'm so glad that I get to bring this one to you, because I don't know how often you're gonna come across a 2004 SSR. But I'm telling you, I think that I might be getting more looks in this than I did when I was in the Cybertruck. I think the color has something to do with that as well. You're definitely not gonna go unnoticed under the radar in this SSR. That's for sure. But very, very comfortable vehicle. Fun to cruise in, like I said. If you have a son or daughter, a granddaughter, grandson, whatever, niece, nephew, this would be such a fun vehicle to share with them and get them into being a car enthusiast. You ready? Oh, here we go. Drops down and we're off. I tell you, the sound of that V8 just makes my heart freaking pitter-patter. It really does. But because of the extra bracing that they did to the Trailblazer frame, it handles pretty well. But I want to get the top down. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to pull into this parking lot and we're going to put it down as I'm speaking to you. So it's real simple. You just got to hold down the brake, which means you cannot do it while you're rolling. That's why I did not attempt it. But of course, full power. It's on the slow side, but remember, this is a 2004. But there goes the top. I love that tonneau cover. Get a little bit of a beep and you're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna put up the side windows just so that you can continue to hear me. U-turn, look at this. Good turning radius. And then this is something, like I said, you can't do in your regular pickup truck, that's for sure. Having the top down, I'm very curious to see how buffeting is gonna be. Are you ready? Oh, here we go. Yeah! This is awesome. I got the Florida sun shining down on me. No buffeting whatsoever. It really sends the wind over your head very, very well. And even though it's a 4-speed with an overdrive, it actually shifts. Awesome, look at this. Oh, here we go, yeah! Really, really impressed with what this SSR is all about. Getting out onto the highway, like I said, you just sit back and you can cruise. It's actually quite fun, I have to admit. It actually is quite fun. Me personally, as much as I love Twinkies, I wouldn't go with the Twinkie color, but a silver, a black, a gray. They had some pretty bright colors. You could get purple, red, yellow. I think there's even an orange. But I'm hoping that this has been a fun kind of throwback video back to 2004 in this SSR. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in an SSR split second. All right, guys. It's been an incredible day here at Dimmitt Chevrolet. Definitely got to thank Raheel, Eli, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2004 Chevrolet SSR. I never thought in a million years I would ever be able to not just review one, but also be able to drive one and share it with you. But let me know what you think. Is this a muscle car truck to buy? And would you rather have this than a 2004 Corvette? Let me know down in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Got to give it up to Stephen Flood. He's in the mood for a Twinkie right about now. I wonder why, but we'll get you one, Stephen. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.